Okay, friends. Hi. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are going to talk about one of the most important things that we need in this business, and that is influence. So maybe you're like me. I used to think that in order to have influence, you had to be the boss, you had to have a ton of friends and be very popular, you had to be a top performer, you had to be like bold and vivacious and have an exciting life, or maybe you had to have like years of experience in a certain thing. And I didn't meet any of that criteria, like none. So I'm from a small town. I have social anxiety. I did not have a network. I barely had friends. I had no prior experience with network marketing, and I didn't have social media skills like at all. I'm also an introvert. So I thought that I was not going to be influential, that I couldn't be successful. But I started learning and I started applying what I was learning. And last year, I was one of the top recruiters on Team Eichenhorst, along with several of my teammates. And I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to give you guys hope that you can learn this. This is a learned skill. There's lots and lots of ways to build your influence. And so I hope that you walk away from this training just feeling so excited because you're going to have a plan. So if you don't already have your pen and paper handy, I would go grab that because we're going to go through 10 steps. So in John Maxwell's book, 21 Laws of Leadership, he talks about 21 characteristics that a leader has. And they're not going to have everything, but there's a lot of components to being a good leader. But he said, if you don't have influence, you will never be able to lead others. Influence is described as the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. So while there's a lot of ways to find success in Plexus, if you want to add ambassadors and customers and you want to be constantly expanding your network and you want to be leading your team well, you've got to have influence. So let's do something that might make you a little uncomfortable. Let's walk through 7 different questions and evaluate whether or not we have like our degree of influence, I guess. And I want to preface this whole thing by saying that we should never compare ourselves to other people or use other people as like a measuring stick. But I do think that if you get a general sense of how you can answer these questions, that you can evaluate your level of influence. So question 1, do people tell you they appreciate your positivity? Do people see you as a trusted resource? Meaning, are they asking for your advice? Do they come to you when they need help with something? Do people react warmly to you when you reach out to them? Think back to a time when you had an idea that required participation from other people. How easy, or was it easy, to get their buy-in? And did you achieve the outcome that you desired? When a stressful situation arises, do you easily diffuse that situation? Are you defensive or emotional? Do you regularly participate in training and other groups learning opportunities? And last question, in your Plexus business, are you regularly adding new customers and ambassadors? And are you keeping them? If you answered no to any of those questions, the odds are that you probably need to work on your level of influence. And that is okay. Like, the good news is that this is a lifelong process, that there are lots of ways that you can build your influence, and you can start doing that like today. There's a lot of great resources on YouTube. There's a lot of great books. 2 of them are Everyone Communicates, Few Connect by John Maxwell, and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I took my research over the last couple years, and I am only showing you what multiple people have said and what I have implemented in my own life that has paid off. And I'm sorry, my cat is going crazy. So the first thing that you need to be mindful of, is your body language. 70% of what you communicate is actually not the words that you use. Your body language can make you seem more confident. It can make you feel more confident. And even when you're not, right? And you've all heard the saying, fake it till you make it. So you'll see people smiling when they're nervous, like right now. And all of your body language plays into the message that you're wanting to send people. Harvard even did a study on this, and they called it low power and high power postures. And they found that people make hiring decisions just like that, just based on someone's posture. People will vote for a president. People will pick someone to date based on their posture, because we're attracted to confident people. So if you are standing tall, shoulders back, you're smiling, you're making eye contact, you're relaxed, your arms are, in the air or by your side or something, you seem more open. Hold on, let me open and friendly and warm, versus if you're sitting like this, if you're hunched down, you're hunched over, you're sitting like this or like this, kind of like protecting yourself, that is a low power posture. So be mindful of that. And when you're talking to people, like, look them in the eye and smile and touch their shoulder if you're comfortable with that. Use someone's name in conversation with them, because studies also show that a person's name is like the most beautiful sound. So if you're using their name, that is going to connect with them as well. Sarah Marble said smiling at people was the number one thing that she did to gain her influence when she first started out on her particular journey, because she didn't have any. All right, number 2, stay in alignment with your values and with who you are. We can all spot a phony a mile away. When someone tries to be something they're not, when they try to do something they're not good at, but they want you to think that they're good at, or when all of a sudden they make some drastic change and you don't know what's going on. So I want everyone after the training to check out their Facebook profile, or not profile, wall, scroll through it. If most of your posts are about plexus, then I encourage you to delete quite a few of those posts and start making some changes, because your friends were probably thinking like, where the heck did Sally go? I really liked Sally and her family and her dog, and now all I see is plexus. Or if you start talking like somebody because you think that they're vivacious and outgoing, and you start talking like them, and that's not you, that's not your style. If my Alaskans are talking in Southern Jill Renfro booty boo language, that's really funny and that's great for Jill, but that's not great for us. People will not be able to connect with you. Sorry, that's kind of funny to me. There's no one else like you in the world. The world needs you. You are valuable. So don't ever try to be like anyone else. Also, this might make you uncomfortable. You work for a health and happiness company, and we are compensated to promote that brand. So please be mindful that if you're promoting health, don't be showing pictures of taking your kids to McDonald's all the time, or guzzling energy drinks, or, in Starbucks 4 days a week, because that is sending mixed messages. Just like if you are posting Bible verses and flowery, positive quotes, and you are then the next day bashing your ex or raving about your mother-in-law, that's not going to build any street cred either with your audience. So you need to stay consistent. You also need to be emotionally consistent and stable with your team. Do you ever know that, or have you ever experienced that walking on eggshells feeling where you're kind of uncomfortable around someone and not at all at ease, and you're kind of just waiting to see how they're going to react because they have not demonstrated consistency in their reactions and in their attitudes. And so you just never know if it's like a Jekyll or Hyde, like who's going to show up. I encourage you guys to constantly build up your leadership skills, and you might have to work on stress management or conflict resolution so that your team, your friends can come to you when life gets rough, when there's hard moments. Because if people don't trust you, if they can't anticipate how you're going to react to something, they're not likely going to confide in you or be vulnerable or share their struggles. And if they're not doing that, that's a huge part of our ability to connect with people. All right, moving on to number 3. Lead by example and do the things in your business. Kindergartners follow their teachers around because they have to. That's just what kids do. That's not the case with adults. Adults do not gravitate towards people that are just telling them what to do. We want to know, why is this worth my time? How is this going to benefit me? Why does this matter, right? As leaders, we're not taggers and bossers on Facebook. We are so much more than that. We've got to roll up our sleeves and do the things with our team. That builds camaraderie, that builds relationship, that builds credibility and influence on your team when you're doing the things that you're telling them to do. When you're doing those things and making those sacrifices that you're expecting them to do to be successful. If people don't see you on the team pages, if they don't see you participating, they're not going to follow you. I mean, it's really simple. If they can't see you doing things, they're not going to follow you. So what I love about our team is that we are a team of doers. And I will say most people are really exceptional at that. All right, number 4, have a winner's mentality rather than a victim's mentality. Think about the people that you're drawn to in life. Is it the whiners and the complainers and the blamers? No. We're drawn to people that are positive and that overcome obstacles. We feel more confident and secure when we're around people that are like winners. They have an unshakable belief. They are determined. We want to align ourselves with those people because those people are going places, right? They have a no excuses mentality. We are drawn to those types of people. Those people find solutions. They don't fall apart every time there's a challenge or an issue or a website issue. They are overcomers. So having said all that, this business can be hard. Life can be hard. So sometimes we just need a good vent. We do. We need to hash it out. Please take those conversations to your upline or someone that you trust outside of Plexus. When you talk about those things with your team and group chats and stuff, it can bring the whole morale of your team down. Do you ever notice that your chat group could be super quiet on a normal basis and one person will complain about something and then all of a sudden everyone who's ever been in that chat group is like jumping on board and complaining, and all of a sudden it turns into this just ball of negativity, and that's not constructive at all. So it's your responsibility to be positive. It's your responsibility to find a solution when there's a challenge, and you're going to be the person that people want to align themselves with. John Maxwell won't even let his staff complain to him unless they also propose 2 to 3 solutions. And I love that. All right. Personal development is number 5. John Maxwell, again, because he's awesome, says you cannot add value to others if you don't value yourself. If you are empty, you really don't have a lot to give other people, right? We have to constantly be working on our mindset. We have to constantly be taking out the head trash. We are under a daily battle of negativity and doubt and insecurities and life. And so this is a constant work in progress. And we are a constant work in progress. And Plexus is also something that we're always learning about. We are now in this company lifelong learners, which I think is fantastic. I mean, we will never, ever, ever figure everything out, which is fun. That's intriguing. It's fun to watch yourself improve and to master skills that you didn't have even a few months ago. So commit to learning and putting it in practice. Number 6, be genuinely interested in people. Sarah Marble said that we need to be more concerned about being interested in people than interesting. We all know those like one-upper kind of people that are just waiting for you to finish your story so they can jump in and like steal your thunder. Like, okay, that's sweet. Listen to me. Or you finish talking to somebody and they don't even acknowledge anything that you've said because, or they might say, okay, sweet, or yeah, that stinks. And then they bring it to themselves and they're talking about themselves or whatever. And you just feel like, man, I just was totally not heard at all. So I encourage you to actively listen to people. Listen so that you can understand them. And something that I've been learning is when we're talking to a potential and they're saying like, oh, I've got headaches or fibromyalgia or I don't sleep at night or something, don't just jump in and say, oh my gosh, I have like testimonies about this and I've got products and we're going to help you and life is going to be so great. Let them talk. Like, let them ask them questions. How long have they been suffering from that? What does it feel like? Like, how does it affect their day? What have they done to try to fix it in the past or to heal in the past? Just kind of dig in and wallow and sit there for a second, because that's emotionally connecting with them too. And it's reminding them like, I really do feel miserable. Like, I don't like this at all. And then you can come up with a solution together through the products or the opportunity. Another way to make people feel really important is to ask them for a favor. Ask them for their opinion on a lipstick. Ask them for help on a website. Ask them for a recipe. When you ask people things and they are able to teach you, they feel really important. Plus, they're able to talk about something that matters to them, something that they're good at, something that they're passionate about. And when they're sharing that stuff with you, as long as they're talking about what they're interested in, it is connecting. It's forming a connection and it's making them like the warm fuzzies. They like to be around you because you were interested in them. So asking open-ended questions of people is a really great way to get to know even people you don't even know. Like right now, I'm really working on Instagram to build relationships. I don't know anybody, but I'm just asking them, what made you want to do this? Why are you so passionate about this? And people are talking. Right? And I don't have to think of anything brilliant because I'm letting them talk. So that is a really, really good tip that has worked well for me. Number 7, add value to people. John Dewey is a profound philosopher, and he said that the deepest urge in human nature is to feel important, or is the desire to be important, excuse me. So our job is to make people feel important. And, what exactly does that entail? I would consider yourself from this day forward as a spy and a cheerleader. I want you guys to always be looking for ways to build people up, to lift them up, to recognize them, to empower them, to encourage them. So if you have ambassadors, this could look like you doing oh my gosh, this person just did their first post, or this is a beautiful post, or this is how it's done, right? Or shout out to Mary, who has shown up to all of our trainings on a consistent basis. Or, Ruthie is doing this. Just make people feel like you're noticing them. And I have seen that dramatically improve someone's outcome and make them feel really good, because sometimes we work really hard and it doesn't yield new customers or ambassadors right away. And that can be really kind of discouraging. But if we know that someone's noticing the efforts that we're making and how we're showing up, that's going to make a big difference. I'm sorry, I just lost my place. Oh, and with your friends and your potentials, you have so many opportunities on their posts to engage with them, to send them, quotes and funny memes and encouragement, and just make them smile through Facebook Messenger, text message, phone call, whatever it is. If you can make people smile, you're going to leave a lasting impression on them. All right, number 8, be authentic and vulnerable. And this one's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. It is not easy to talk about ourselves all the time. It is not easy to be emotional or to tell a story that might be really personal, but I promise it's so worth it. When we're vulnerable and just real and raw, people will connect with us, because if we're only showing the highlight reel, people are going to be like, that's not reality. Like, life is not unicorns and sparkles and just good all the time. Share your struggles, but I challenge you to also share about how you got on track. Share how you overcame a huge obstacle. Share your victories. I talk about my anxiety. I talk about losing my sister. I talk about my hopes and my dreams. And I tell you what, like, people eat that up because they want to see a part of themselves in you. They want to be able to relate to you. They want to be able to cheer you on. So be authentic and vulnerable as much as you can. And it's going to really, really help your connections with people and your influence. Number 9, tell stories. Most decisions are made first on an emotional level, and telling stories allows people to imagine, and it engages their emotions. If we're new to Plexus, we might not have a story yet, right? We were just kind of figuring things out, but you can share stories about your uplines or friends of yours. I encourage everyone to watch Kendra Hall's trainings. She is a master storyteller, and she's so good that Plexus had her speak at our convention last year. And it's just really, really powerful how stories move people. You might be thinking, well, I don't have a story. Nothing traumatic happened to me. Nothing really interesting or exciting happened to me. And I'm here to tell you, you do have a story. You can pick someone in your life and talk about how they've inspired you or how they motivated you, or memories that you have, or your hopes and your dreams, or something that you're wanting to tackle for the first time. You can tell about what your life is now and what you're hoping that it's going to be. Stories are incredible. And for an example, when my sister died, I started just sharing a memory every single Wednesday for a year, 52 memories. And it didn't start off being like that. That wasn't my goal. I was just trying to kind of hold on during the grieving process. But I tell you what, like, people that didn't know me that knew her, or people that knew her or knew me and didn't know her. Did I just say that? Anyways, you get what I'm saying. People that didn't even necessarily know our family, didn't even necessarily know all of us, were tuning in, hundreds of people every week, to listen to a memory or read a memory about Easter egg hunting or camping or something, like something they were never even a part of, because people love stories. We've all heard that phrase, facts tell, stories sell. So I want to just circle back to social media real quick. So if I'm your potential and I'm looking through your Facebook, I'm going to appreciate your product posts. Maybe I won't read them. Maybe I will, just depends. But they're not going to connect me to anything. There is nothing emotional about brown seaweed. Okay, guys? There just isn't. But if you tell me that you kicked your Skittle habit, you used to eat Skittles every single day, and because you don't do that, you're losing weight, you're feeling better, and you're setting a better example for your children, I'm going to be like, that's awesome. Like, you go, and you feel things. You feel the feels when people tell stories. Last thing on our list, be consistent in your social media posts and your follow-up. And you might be thinking, well, what the heck does that have to do with influence? This is what it has to do with influence. I have had so many people admit that they had a choice between buying Plexus from me or buying it from a friend who might not post on Facebook, might not really tell people that they sell it or anything like that. And even though they might be more loyal to their friend, they want to buy from me because I've shown up every day to talk about Plexus. I've been consistent. I am now a trusted resource to them. They see my commitment level. It also may make me appear more knowledgeable, even if I'm not. I'm still out there talking about it, right? So in general, change and new things are scary for people, and most people don't want to embark on that stuff by themselves. So if they know that I'm committed, that you're committed, that you are in this for the long haul, they are going to be more ready to make those changes, knowing that you're not going to leave them. You're going to be by their side because you're in this regardless of if they are or not, right? So they're going to know that you're going to take care of them. And then once they order from you, you have to really take care of them. You have to love on them, build their belief, follow up with them. I mean, follow up, like not once a month. Follow up and build that relationship. your treatment of that person, since we know that most ambassadors do not start with Plexus for the business, your treatment of that person could very well be the thing that makes them all of a sudden like want to be a jewel, right? The community, your relationship, the way that they feel working with you, and the way that you represent the company that you love so much, that could be the one thing that flips that switch in their brain. Okay, that was all 10 things. There are a lot more ways to build your influence. So this is a great place to start. But if you want to do more research, there's a ton of things on YouTube. You can just Google, influence or Amazon books. It is a lifelong process. We can always grow our skills and steadily improve. And I'm just really, really excited for everyone that showed up tonight, because I cannot wait to watch your businesses explode and your confidence improve and just watch amazing things happen for you this year. So that is it. That is all I have. Just one second. I'm sorry.